Oh, there were so many things why we built a home in Crete. I think the first thing, definitely, was the people. We came here on a one-week holiday, having never been to Greece before, although my husband had been to Athens for business, but that was very different. He didn't really get to meet too many Greek people, but we immersed ourselves in the people and their language, and they have a great, I think the Greek people have a great joy for living, and they're very passionate, and we admired that. We admired their values for family. We loved seeing the families going out to dinner, and they behaved very much like we did as a very young couple. So, and it's incredibly beautiful. The island is very beautiful. My favorite spot in Greece, probably in the whole wide world, is Crete, and it is Elounda. It's on this mountainside where we built our home. We have many very, very fond memories. We saw the beauty of the island. We always thought about building a second home. We did not imagine we would build a home quite as large as we did. But my husband and I were very alike in some ways, that we always bit off more than we could chew, really. We always had big projects. And this was the biggest project we ever embarked on. And we enjoyed every minute of it. It was stressful. It was stressful paying for it. It was stressful speaking the language a little bit and learning. However, the entire experience has been magical for us. It is a very beautiful country, and the people are really very, very fine people, and they have values that we admire tremendously with their families, their work ethic, the food. So we just seem to feel natural here. And we fell in love with this particular spot, and we thought we'd build a little house. And as the dream got bigger and bigger, the little house turned into quite a large house that we really love, and we really enjoyed building it. We did. It was a lovely experience. And the best time I've had here, I think the best time was when my husband and I first decided that we would build on this particular piece of land. It was our anniversary, and we stood out and scrambled down the mountain, and we just looked at the sun rising, and that was it. We had fallen in love. Well, I think the idea was to try to capture a little bit of the beauty of this island, and also to capture the spirit of it. My husband and I were a very gregarious couple, and we hoped that we would be able to welcome family, friends, a lot of Greek people here, and we embraced the holidays. We had a big Easter celebration the first year we were here. It was so much fun. And I was a musician, and I played the violin, so I loved the string instruments, and the music really was captivating to me. And I loved the dancing. It was just the spirit of the house. It was happy, and we tried as much as we could to embrace its surroundings. That's why the windows are big, and we let the light in. And you know, I don't know why we wasted money on buying blinds for any windows, because we never closed them. We always want the light, and the light here is extraordinary. We had so much fun decorating this house. Every week I shopped and shopped and shopped throughout London, anywhere I was. When we went on holidays, we never really enjoyed any other holiday during this period of time, because all we did was look around at antique shops, junk shops, everywhere we could find, and we always brought something back. You know, the lamps are French, we found them in England. The lights come from all different parts of the world. I mean, Italy, France, South America. I can't, the sculpture alone came from many, many different places. And we just kept picking up objects that we really enjoyed, we really liked living with. And it just evolved. And my husband said, we've got to hurry up the building of this house, because my house in England was completely crowded. It had two pianos, two grand pianos in it. It had so many lights. It had chandeliers sitting in the kitchen floor. I mean, it was packed with all the things, and we finally then really moved into the house, and what a joy it was. It was absolutely amazing. It was so much fun, and we were very pleased with the outcome. Everything means something to me, everything. The funniest story was my son just reminded me a little while ago about the fireplace. We first found the top of the fireplace, which I think is a very beautiful piece of stone, and it was only the very, very top, just the crown. No, it wasn't, but we liked the stone. And we thought, well, we'll use it somewhere. It'll be very, very interesting. And then the man, I said, is there any chance of getting the rest of it? And he said, oh, we might, I don't know. I said, well, you will call me when you get it, won't you? And he said, well, I don't know. And then I bought a few other things in the shop, and then all of a sudden he said, I might get it next week. And so I came back. I came to Athens. And I bought the rest of the fireplace, and I called my husband, and I said, we've got it, Locke. We've got the fireplace, the whole thing. And we were like two little kids in a candy shop. We were absolutely overjoyed, and we really do love it. I think it's an extraordinary piece, and it's Greek.
I think we were talking about the interiors of the house.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, I was living in Asia at the time when they were building it, and I think one of the coolest things for me was to come here and notice the stuff that we bought together when we were on holiday,
Yes,
and also the new stuff that you had bought, and to see memories of my childhood and things that I'm very familiar with, because a lot of the stuff came from London.
Yes, it did. That's correct.
I mean, the most special thing for me was, which I really didn't know you were going to do, is when you restored my first bike from America that is now hanging in the kitchen.
Over the cupboards,
And so that was really cool. The rhinoceros downstairs that used to be in the snooker room, and a lot of the artwork and things. In fact, almost all the paintings
that's right.
were relocated from London.
I kept buying pictures all the time. Like couldn't keep me out of a gallery, and a junk shop or I just loved art, and I kept bringing home paintings, and I had nowhere to put them. And then my husband said to me, Mary, I had to build a house because you keep buying pictures. So we had a good laugh over that. But yeah, of course, I'm not surprised. Yeah.
And some of the paintings were done by, there's an English artist, Ken Howard.
Yes, he was a lovely man.
He came here a few times, and every time he came, he did a painting. And so a couple of the little paintings in the entrance hallway are things that he did when he was here in Greece. And he's a relatively well-known artist. He was head of the Royal Academy in the UK for some time, and nobody has ever seen that artwork that hasn't been in this house.
No.
Because those paintings have never left.
No.
So if you haven't been here, you haven't seen them.
He loved it here, and he was a most delightful man. And I have very fond memories going through the house and looking at those little pictures. There's one of a little girl on a beach, just like this environment, and she's reaching down with her long hair, and she's just looking at something in the sea. And he was with me, and we were walking along the beach, and I said, Ken, and he used to always do this and say, let's get that shot. And before I knew it, he had a bit of canvas out, and he was painting away, and he gave it to me, and it's just absolutely wonderful. Every time I pass it in London, I just feel very happy.
There's also the sculpture in the garden, the big metal sculpture that twists around, that was done by a good family friend, John Clive.
Yes.
And it was designed for the World Trade Center in New York. It was going to be in the garden. It didn't win. It came in second or third place.
It was the maquette for it, and it's very big.
And the base of it is the Twin Towers in New York before they were destroyed.
Yes.
And so it's built to scale of those. And then it connects in the top. And as you walk around it, the idea is that that event was obviously very significant, and significant to everybody in the world, actually, but people have a different viewpoint of it. And so as you walk around the sculpture, each angle is actually completely different.
And John came here, the artist John Clive came to visit us, and he was delighted to see it. And he said he couldn't imagine a more perfect setting because of just the way you speak of it, the many different angles, the many different opinions, which is what art is about, really.
And so there's a number of different areas around. The property is large, and one of the things that's happened is there's a number of little, just tiny little areas, benches,
Yes.
different things. And many people have their own favorite spot.
Yes, that's true.
Mine at the moment was gone because it's now overgrown. But
Where was that?
down by the circle by the plow,
Oh, yes, of
down
course.
there, I
Yes.
discovered when I was staying here by myself. And it'll still do it, just not from there. At 9:15 in the morning, as the sun is rising over the sea, the entire sea sparkles like diamonds.
Yes, it's beautiful.
And it only lasts about 15 or 20 minutes. And it happens from various points. But the sun rises over the sea, and it just sparkles like diamonds.
Beautiful.
The other thing that's interesting is that everybody talks about sunrises and sunsets. Nobody talks about moonrises and the moon rising over the sea.
Oh, it's spectacular. Just spectacular.
That's unique.
And I can see that moon from many of the rooms in the house, particularly our bedroom. And it's really just so beautiful, very, very beautiful, very inspiring.
All the rooms have their own character. They have their own names.
They do.
So everything is named after something. Like the blue room is just blue. The Moroccan room is the Moroccan room because of the ceiling that Mom designed. And then the bedroom suites downstairs are named after the construction guys that built it.
That's correct.
And the church is Ios Yorgos after Yorgos Kounalakis. Everybody loves the church, and I think what is, for me, most significant about it is that it was a gift.
It was.
And
Yorgos and Yanni, yes.
And what is now the kitchen, people were sitting around on paint buckets with planks of wood and decided that a house like this needed a church. And as they went round discussing it, they all decided they would contribute, and they got the guys, the construction engineers, to design it and build it. So it was a gift from the people who built the house to us.
And it's a very lovely thing because it's been used by many Greek people. Many of the people that we knew, many of the people that I met when they were little children got married in that church now.
There have been weddings, there have been baptisms, there's been a lot of stuff that people have used.
It's a source of great happiness.
And the fact that it's a gift just has a significance to
Very
it
much,
as a
yeah.
religious thing over, hey, yeah, we decided to build it.
No, you're absolutely right about that. Yes, we love the chapel.
The tennis court's just something we built. The chapel's different.
The chapel is much more special. Yes, I think you're right.
The kitchen was originally supposed to be the garage.
That's correct.
Because the architect never thought that anybody would cook in it, and that it would just be a chef that cooked. So what is currently the laundry room was supposed to be the kitchen, and the garage had the best views in the entire house. And Mom was all upset because, of course, you live in your kitchen. That's the room everybody goes to.
I cook a lot.
And so I said, it obviously needs to be the kitchen. And when asked where are we going to put the garage, I said, Do you remember in Batman how he had his cave and the door opens up into the side of the mountain? Why don't you just take some dynamite and blast out that mountain over there and build a garage? I was joking, but that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Unfortunately, I wasn't there for the boom when it exploded, but they did dynamite out the mountain to build the garage.
Yeah.
One of the things that always struck me was standing at the edge of the swimming pool, and you get the blue of the pool, the blue of the sea, the blue of the sky, all different and put together spectacular.
It's magical.
The house is big enough that you can have multiple families here and actually not really see each other during the day. And we often gathered at 6:30 for Boule, for everybody to come together to play Boule before dinner.
It was great fun.
So people could come and go as they wished throughout the day, and then gather in the evening for drinks and a game. The sea platform is lovely, quiet, serene, and the water is amazing once you get in. And there's a fridge out there for when you get out. And last year I even saw a sea turtle down there. There's multiple dining areas throughout the house on different terraces where people can come together for breakfast, lunch, dinner, barbecues by the pool, lots of different things. And the views are wonderful from everywhere.
One of the funniest things that happened is that there's an extension of that when we had multiple families and all the bedrooms were filled, I found out that some of my guests were holding private parties, and they all have balconies, and so they'd say to one couple or another, come and have a drink with us in our room. And they'd all go out in the balcony. And my husband and I went out to look at the moon one night, and we found the whole house was alive, all the balconies.
The olive grove is fantastic, and it came up because when we were building the house, the guys said, hey, do you people want 70 olive trees? Because they were knocking something down somewhere else. So we got a huge olive grove. And in there, we've got statues that actually represent every member of our family. It's the light, the sea, the air that is all brought into the house. And so I think one of the main ideas is that the inside reflects the outside of the nature, and everything is drawn into the house, and then it exudes out into the sea and the natural environment.
It is also a very lovely place to be in the winter because of the light that we mentioned. It's lovely to come here. I don't know why the tourism isn't just as good in the winter as it is in the summer, because it really is a very beautiful place.
Somebody once said to me that it's the most special place on earth because of the air. There's lots of places with good views. There's lots of places with nice sunrises and sunsets, but the clean, fresh air and the feeling that you get is just unmatched anywhere in the world.
I would agree with that.
One of the things that Mom and Dad did that is rather special is obviously in building it, the landscape was destroyed. And once it was built, as opposed to having manicured gardens, everything was allowed to grow up again. And so it's supposed to be natural, and it is. It's not something that is a manicured garden from England. It's Greek. The countryside was allowed to grow back again, and that's done on purpose.
Very much so, yes.
You also get different things at different times of the year. When I left last week, there were no flowers going down to the church. Now, there's a huge row of purple flowers. That wasn't planted. That's just there. They come up at random moments. You're not going to see the same thing this week as next week. It's constantly changing, constantly evolving.
I also have a great value for the friendships that we have made. I've met some very fine people that I really love.